Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning into a special edition of Steel City Sports, where I'm Luther Dupree, joined Mike Migliore, Claudio Rosano, and Smoking Jim Frazier. Before we get started, I got to thank you, Mike. Thank you, Claudio, for coming out to the party. I appreciate it. Smoking Jim, you didn't know there was going to be a live camera there, so I know you couldn't make it, but you gave me a shout out on Facebook, so I appreciate that. We had a great time. But thanks for coming. Happy New Year. A whole lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to talk too much, but they call me the prophet for a reason. While people were saying 8-8, you can't be 8-8 to be great. I told you from the beginning the Steelers would finish 10-6 and be a wild card in the playoffs. If you have money, listen to what I say. Put your money on it. I'll make you a rich man, as Smoking Jim knows. Hey, but that being said, we got our Steel City news. Started off with Magic Mike. What you got for
Well, wait
us?
a minute. If they put their money on what you say, but you ain't say anything. So who's going to win?
Well, hey, listen. That's coming up later in the show, Mike.
It's called a tease.
It's a tease.
Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is going to announce their 2016 class here in about right now. Everybody knows that Ken Griffey Jr. is a lock to get in,
Right.
but he won't be unanimous. And why is that? That means that some idiot who has a vote for the Hall of Fame is not going to vote in Ken Griffey Jr. just because they don't want him to be unanimous. That's the problem with Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, is that sports writers vote for the players instead of the actual players that are actually in the Hall of Fame. That's the way it should be. But now, like I said, you have Ken Griffey Jr. go in. Somebody's not going to vote for him. Whoever doesn't vote for him not only should be dragged out back and shot, but he should lose his vote for the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, I should have put a disclaimer out for you, Mike. Okay. Claudia, what do you got for us?
And you know, Hank Aaron didn't get all the votes.
Right.
How can
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. Well, keeping with baseball, as you guys know, I always use Italian sayings. The Italians have a great saying: the fish stinks from the head. So in other words, when it's bad up top, it trickles down. The Cleveland Browns, okay, the Cleveland Browns got rid of Pettin, who I wasn't sure he was the right guy anyway, but they just hired Paul DiBattista from the New York Mets to be their, I don't know, what is he, vice president of talent, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But he's basically an analytics guy. Okay, everything is stats. Now baseball's been doing that. Football is going to be doing that, and stats are terrific. Stats are great for a reference. But whenever I hear scouts or coaches or vice presidents or anybody just using stats, to me that's a lazy way of evaluating players. Here it is here's the numbers, and they sign him. They don't check his heart. They don't check his skill level. Everything is numbers. Real quick, Herb Washington was a former Olympic sprinter back in the 70s. The Oakland A's signed him to be just a designated runner. I don't know what his numbers were as far as running a straight 60, but he could absolutely fly. He stole about 34 stolen bases and was caught about 24 times. Then you had Phil Garner, who I can promise you never ran as fast as Herb Washington, but his stolen base numbers were better. Why? Because Phil Garner knew how to steal bases, okay? So you use numbers as a reference, but not as the whole reason why you sign a player or draft a player. And unfortunately, baseball's been doing that. That's why the level of quality of play has gone down. And I think football is going that way, and I think that's going to happen too.
Okay, all right. Smoking Jim, what you got for us? Go ahead, Mike.
Claudio, you're saying that the Cleveland Browns hired a baseball guy to be their...
I'm
football
telling you,
guy.
that's it. Yeah.
That's why Cleveland Browns are where they are all
And
the
that's
time.
where they're going to stay there.
Exactly. Hey, before we do that, Smoking Jim, we got to put a disclaimer out here. The words you're about to hear don't reflect my thinking. Mike, Claudio, or anybody else that's going to be on the show, they reflect Smoking Jim's thinking and his alone. That being said, go ahead, Smoking Jim.
Hey, thanks, Luther. Hey, I'm sorry I'm late as usual. There was some white guy on the street with a blonde hair, a mustache, wanting bus fare back to Cleveland. He said his name is Billy. Hey, before I get started, I want to give a shout out. We got a couple Steel City beauties here. We're going to introduce them a little later. But we got a young lady in from Canonsburg that goes to Moorhead State, where DJ Dinkins, David Dinkins, broke the all-time passing record. Big hand for Mandy in the house. But listen, I always say anything a man can do, a woman can do better. You know, the best college basketball team ain't Duke, it ain't Kentucky, it ain't UCLA. It's the UConn women's basketball team. 10 national championships since the year 2000. The Pittsburgh Steelers, not the best football team. The best football team is the undefeated, reigning, defending undisputed world champions, the Pittsburgh Passion Women's League. Mike Tyson and Larry Holmes aren't the best boxers. The best boxer of all time is Layla Ali. 24-0, 21 knockouts. Listen, there's a young lady named Susie McConnell Serio. She won a high school basketball championship when she was at Seton LaSalle. She's a college All-American from Penn State, won the Olympic gold medal, was an All-Star in the WNBA. She was a Coach of the Year in the WNBA. She won 5 WPIL championships, 3 state championships as a head coach of Oakland Catholic. She was the Dapper Dan Sportswoman of the Year twice. She's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. If Susie McConnell Serio was a man, there'd be a statue in her honor somewhere. Hey, listen, there's equality now for the white man. There's equality for the black man. There's equality for the red man. There's equality for the yellow man. There's equality for the gay man. How about a little equality for the woman?
Or the Italian.
All right, Smoking Jim, as I adjust my earpiece here. But that's definitely good points. Hey, we do have a caller. Caller, can you say your name where you're calling from?
What's up, y'all? This is Stack.
Hey, what's
What's
going
up,
on,
What's up, Stat?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Smoking Jim, that was very good. I like that.
I love women.
What's on your
The
mind,
reason
Stack?
the reason for my call is I was wondering, I guess none of you guys got to see the great Alderdice Dragons in there.
I'll be there Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to check
They're
them out
playing
as they
Friday.
tear up the City League.
Well, last night, I mean, that's going to be the difficult games for them, the city games, because they're just going to basically sleepwalk through the league. I mean,
Right.
they seemed uninspired last night and still won by 30.
Wow.
You know, so
Stack, did I just hear you say they're the greatest high school basketball team you ever seen? I agree
No, he
with
didn't
you.
say that at all.
I agree with that.
He didn't say that at all. What do we say? You got to win state to be great. So they're on that path, but we'll see. What do you think of so far, Stack?
oh, they definitely. I tell you what, they have people coming from other areas to watch them. They're an exciting group of young men, and they're just fun to watch, and they play team basketball, and a lot of people will make the claim that they'll think that city kids playing basketball, they don't play as a team. These guys are very unselfish. They pass the ball, and they're very entertaining. It's the best $3 you could spend. Just put it that way.
Okay. Hey, definitely. I look forward to seeing them. We still got to get out there and work on that DVD. We definitely want to do that documentary on them. But I think they can win state. Have you seen any flaws in their game so far, or have they stepped it up a level from last year?
I tell you this, I definitely don't see any team out on this end of the state beating them. As I've stated before, I think it's going to come down to them and Roman Catholic in the state final. But as far, I don't see any flaws. I mean, they're deep. They can shoot the ball. Like I said, they play as a team. They pass the ball well. They did have one loss, and they just didn't shoot the ball well that night. And I thought that they played a little slow against Kennedy Catholic. But other than that, that's just, it's kind of hard to go 31 or 32-0.
Glad to have you on the bandwagon, buddy.
Hey, they look good, man. I can't wait to see them. I don't think anybody in the Quad East, we know Gateway's not going to have a chance against them.
Gateway's loaded this year, bro.
Okay. All right. You say that every year, and they have yet to do anything since
won
Barnett,
3
since Barnett
WPIL.
left. Two.
They went to
Two.
back-to-back.
Okay, but they won 2. Hey, Stott, what else is on your mind, man?
The playoffs, NFL playoffs.
Right.
Go New England.
No, I tell you what, I really don't have an AFC pick, but I'm going to pick a sleeper in the NFC, and I don't think anyone's picking this team, and that's the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh.
Stack.
Well, that's a wasted vote right there, Stack. I think they lose this weekend against Seattle.
I disagree. I think. See, here's the thing. Seattle blew them out this year.
Yeah, that was an ugly game.
You never see a team get blown out twice by the same team in the National Football League. It doesn't happen that way.
Well, watch the game this Saturday. You'll see it happen.
Hey, Stack, did you? I went back and watched that game about 3 times. And if the quarterback don't go see the wizard, you know, Seattle questioned his heart after that particular game. So Teddy Bridgewater, if he don't go see the wizard and get some heart, I don't think that it'll be a difference.
Hold on.
The Seattle Seahawks questioned his heart. It wasn't me, but he
Listen,
did look like he had a yellow streak running down the middle of his
They
back.
beat him up. He's been getting beat up all year. You understand? They have a couple. Their offensive line is not a complete, offensive line. It's one of the worst offensive lines in football.
But you don't
They
go
have
into the
two
fetal
rookies
position.
starting. They got Clemens starting at right tackle. I mean, they have some major problems on that offensive line.
black guys always talking about the black quarterback.
Seattle's going to eat him up.
Plus, they definitely want to win this because they feel they should have won last year.
Well, they should have.
That stupid
If they don't
call.
call-
That was the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. So they're kind of playing with a cause. Jim Valvano used to say, you never want to play a team with a cause, and they definitely have a cause.
Wow.
And Lynch is back.
Yeah,
And I think
Lynch
he's
is
gonna be
back,
tough.
and Wilson's playing at
He's
the
going
best
crazy,
level. Nobody's
yeah.
playing better than him right now at the quarterback position.
I'm sorry,
Even Cam
Stack. I
Newton.
didn't mean to get on the black quarterback.
Well, here's one thing you have to take into consideration. They're not going to be playing in Seattle, and they're not going to be playing in Florida. They're going to be playing in 0-degree Minneapolis, Minnesota.
good
And
point.
trust me, I've been there.
point.
It freezes there.
Good point.
That's a different type of cold up there.
That's true.
So all that Russell Wilson throwing the ball around and getting 6 touchdowns, I don't see it. I don't
Stack,
see it, not this week.
Good point,
And Adrian
Stack.
Peterson, if he can hold on to the football, is the better running back in this game. Minnesota
Right.
can play some defense. This game is going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. And I
Okay.
think Minnesota can take them.
You trust Bridgewater in his first game, his first playoff game against a veteran, proven Seattle defense. I don't trust him. I think they're going to bottle up Adrian Peterson, and I don't like the receivers from Minnesota either.
Bridgewater's from Miami. He's used to playing in the cold.
That was a good one. I mean, just don't. The game's not going to go like a lot of people think, like the so-called experts think it's going to be a blowout. It will not be a blowout.
But do you think they'll win?
I think Minnesota has a very good shot at winning, and I'm actually going to pick Minnesota to win this game.
Here,
right.
Stack, let me give you a little secret. You know I'm a professional gambler. Put all your money on the genius. Bruce Arians takes the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, they look real good against Seattle this weekend.
In fact, that one.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Stack, well, I mean, all right, you're going out there with Minnesota, but AFC, what do you think about this game? Because Steelers, Bengals, number 3, they don't like each other. We saw what happened the first time. What do you think about that game?
Marvin Lewis, it's almost like he has to win a playoff game at some time. I mean, it's the hidden vigorish. You know, the gunner, what the gunner used to say. You know, the hidden vigorish. The more you lose, the closer you are to winning, and vice versa. I'm almost tempted to pick Cincinnati to win this game, even though I'm hoping the Steelers win.
Right.
Well, Cincinnati definitely going to win, but it ain't going to be because of Marvin Lewis, the Oreo cookie, black on the outside, white on the inside.
Once again, Jim, I don't know where that came from, but
I'm always honest about the Steelers. I'm not a homer, but I kind of think that they're going to win this. I just don't have any faith in Cincinnati. I said Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to win.
I just wanted to dap up.
Okay, all right, okay.
Macaroni Tony's.
I thought Cincinnati was overrated from the get-go. What they win around 8 in a row, 9 in a row, something like
9
that.
in a row.
I just don't see it. I think Pittsburgh's going to go there. I think they'll play more from the heart up, and I think Cincinnati's going to just freeze. I really do. I just don't think they're going to do well.
Claudio, I hope it happens that way. I definitely do.
Although whenever I predict something, I'm opposite of him. Whatever I predict usually go the other way. I'm not too good at predicting.
Who got the prettier wife, Big Ben or the quarterback from Cincinnati? When she missed Tennessee or something. That's what it'll come down to.
Let Brent Musburger choose that one.
Yeah, Brent Musburger.
Hey, Stat, real quick before we let you go. The other game, Kansas City is playing Houston Texans. We know
Houston.
earlier in the year, it was a blowout early. They brought Ryan Mallett. Now Ryan Mallett isn't even on the team. What do you think in this game? Kansas City?
Houston.
Well, like you said, though, at the beginning, you said the more wins you have, the closer you are to losing. Kansas City has won. They've racked up a lot of wins.
10 in a row, I think.
10 in a row, yeah. Although
That's why I'm
Houston,
picking
they
Houston.
don't, Houston doesn't impress me either.
No.
I got Houston winning this game. I just, the old hidden vigorish thing, and they're playing in Houston, And I'm not buying Kansas City. I'm not buying them at all.
Yeah, I got Houston too. I got Houston winning this one.
I think.
You think Houston's offense can beat up Kansas City's defense?
I don't think Kansas City can score enough to beat Houston
Okay.
on the road.
Okay. I think it'll be a close game.
Kansas
Neither
City.
offense
You
is
like
real
Kansas
explosive. I'm going with Kansas City. Jeremy Maclin right now, he has about 9 touchdowns in the last 6 games. So I'm going with Kansas City.
I'm going with
Alex
Kansas
Smith
City,
is going to win this one, I think. But we'll see, Stack. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Any last thoughts or any predictions?
Yes, I have Washington beating Green Bay also.
Well, a lot of people are saying that. I'm still
You're
going
going with a
Green
lot
Bay.
of home teams, Stack.
Well, I don't like Green Bay at all.
Right.
Better get a second job.
All right, I think we got all of them. And your pick to come out of the NFC, you said is Minnesota?
I don't know if I'm picking them to come out, but I'm picking them to win this week.
Okay. All right, Stack, man. Thanks for the update,
Thanks, Stack.
man. We got to definitely check out some Autodice. Make sure you heed Stack's words and get out and check. This is the best team since the Shinley team back in the early 2000s.
Oh, this is the best team since the 76 Fifth Avenue team.
You always got to take it a little extra. Best team since the Warren Blair and them. You agree with that, Stack?
Definitely.
Okay.
Not even close. Definitely.
Okay. All right, Stack, man. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Stack.
All right.
Hey, Smoker Jim, we do have, people are tired of looking at you and all of us up here. We do have some Steel City beauties in the house. Who do we have in the house, Jim?
Well, I tell you what, this young lady just got in a few months ago from Los Angeles, California. She's back in Pittsburgh for a little bit. Big hand for beautiful model Mariah Torres in the house. And I tell you what, international, national model, pageant. I tell you what, Mike Tyson's #1 ring card girl. And I tell you what, one of my favorite persons on the entire planet. Big hand for Cindell Taylor.
Wow. Ladies, thank you all for coming on. Just tell the viewing audience a little bit about yourself and, what can we expect to see from you guys in the future. Cindell, you got the mic first, so.
Hi guys, my name is Cindell Taylor and I am currently Miss Allegheny County America 2016.
Okay.
I grew up in Pittsburgh. I actually grew up in the Steel City, Dormont, so it's Keystone Oaks Area High School, for anybody who doesn't know.
Nobody heard of that.
Hey, sorry. But the best thing about being from Pittsburgh is I'm definitely a diehard Steeler fan.
Okay.
So born in a terrible town, die in a terrible town everywhere I go.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariah Torres. I am a model here in Pittsburgh. I now reside in Pittsburgh. I just came back. I also just had a baby. Yay, it's me. But my body did snap right back, so I'm right back going into full mode swing and everything. Actually have a TV show getting ready to come up here in February 2016 called Juice with Mariah Torres. I'm going to be talking about everything, you name it. I'm just tired of hearing a lot of things from negative. So it's going to be a really great, positive show, for our youth to watch. And I'm going to have a lot of people on the show from your favorite artists, your favorite football player, high school football players, let's say that. And who knows, we might even have a Steeler on there one day. You never know. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. And what's the name of the show?
Juice with Mariah Torres.
Juice.
It will be on here on channel 21 PCTV.
Okay.
Don't steal the name. Don't steal the name.
I like Juice. Yeah, Juice. That was OJ's name for a minute, right?
Yes, it was.
All right. Listen, number to call, 412-231-2288. We're going to get right back with the models, but we just got word that a couple guys got into the Hall of Fame. I know this is your sport. Claudio.
All right. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. got in with 99.3, so somebody didn't vote for him. As
Right.
Mike said.
As you said, Mike.
Although I do think that's the highest. Seaver had 98, I believe, so Griffey has the most ever. And then Mike Piazza finally got in. He's the all-time home run leader for catchers, and he certainly belongs in. The thing that I also, they popped up on the screen, that Barry Bonds got 44.3%. I think he went down. But, there were whispers of Mike Piazza with the PEDs. him getting in, maybe things will start to soften up for the other guys. Whether you think they did it, didn't do it, that whole era was loaded with that stuff. You talk about Juice. That was the era
was
of
the Juice era.
That was the Juice era. So, Bonds, yes, it looks, perhaps he was on it. I guess he looks like he was. But the guys that he was facing were on it as well. So I think everybody knows there's no need for an asterisk. People know that era. They put up the numbers. You're going to have a Hall of Fame without Clemens, without McGuire, without Bonds. And now we're also going to talk about Pete Rose real quick. Pete Rose was not allowed to, the commissioner said he was not allowed to be reinstated in baseball, which I kind of understand. To have him as a manager, especially at this stage, forget about it. Hitting coach, if his best hitter is hitting 220, they're going to say, hey, man, something's up with that. But he could be an ambassador for the game. But the Hall of Fame is a different entity from Major League Baseball. He should be allowed to at least get the writers or to have his name voted on to be in. That, I think, is a crime. That, I think he's paid enough of a penalty, 26 years, 29 years, whatever it is. 26 years. He should be allowed to at least get voted upon. And I'd like to see Pete Rose in. You know what? And what bothers me, I don't mean to hog this, but what bothers me the most is the people who say, no, he doesn't deserve to get in because they've never made mistakes.
Right,
they were
right.
perfect their entire lives. No, they didn't get caught. Okay? Pete Rose screwed up, no question. He broke the cardinal rule. 26 years. He's been paying the price. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but again, what bothers me a lot is those guys who, again, the Saints, they've never done anything wrong. There's a few writers who were against Pete Rose pretty badly, and some things came up about them, but that was okay. So matter of fact, one of them passed away a few years ago, but that's another story. I do believe Pete Rose at least should be eligible for a vote.
Right, and we have some clips. Everybody knows Roger Clemens definitely should be in the Hall of Fame if we run some of those clips. I mean, he has some powerful performances, throwing bats at people. He played with the roid rage, if you say. But the thing is, you don't know who was on it and who wasn't. Now, if they failed a test, that's one thing.
That's right.
They weren't testing at the time when they were playing, and when they started testing, as far as I know, Clemens never failed a test, McGuire never failed a test, Bonds never failed a test. I think they all need to be in. And the thing is, and I say this every time, how can you keep them out, but the managers who manage them, they're in.
I
Tony
say
La
that,
Russa, he's in.
You're the
That
only
makes-
one I've ever heard say that.
It's common sense. I mean, if you're going to keep that whole
They
era
reap
out,
the benefits
right.
of those guys. And Luther's the only one. I listen to all the shows. He's the only one that I've ever heard say that. All those guys, the managers got in, Torre and La Russa, and the player, and they reap the benefits from those steroids.
Right.
So I think, as I said,
It's just
let them in.
it's just a matter of time before they get in. I think the younger, as voters get younger, I think they're going to overlook
Yeah.
a couple things and say, hey, you know what, this is wrong. There's no morality contract
Right.
in the Hall of Fame. You got guys who were card-carrying Klansmen in the Hall of Fame right
Yeah,
now. So,
exactly.
I mean, that was never a part of it before. And because you think somebody used it or their name came up on a report, you got to get them in.
Right.
You got
I'm
them
with
in. Mike, Jim, we know you don't know. This is baseball. They play with the white ball, Jim.
Well, I know I've never been accused of anything I didn't do.
Mike, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, again, my premier thought is that there's somebody out there that didn't vote for Ken Griffey Jr. to get into the Hall of Fame. Like I said earlier, it's a disgrace that, that they do that they don't want him to be unanimous, so somebody's going to withhold a vote. I think that guy who did not vote for Ken Griffey Jr. should not be allowed to vote ever again. Mike Piazza, another good choice. I would like to have seen Trevor Hoffman make it this year, but it looks like he's on out. And I think number 3 was Jeff Bagwell, and he only got 71% of the vote, so he's not in either.
Now, he was another one that was whispers about him.
Right,
So
right.
why is he gets 71% and Bonds, who has crazy numbers, even
I'm
before
receiving the text. Has it just been 2 that got in?
2?
Okay, let me have that.
Yeah, just 2. But I mean, how can Bagwell have 71% and Bonds have what 44.3?
And you look at the type of player. There's no comparison
Well,
between
no,
the two.
it's no
Yeah.
comparison. But I mean, there was whispers about Bagwell too.
And you know what? There were whispers about Piazza too.
Sure there were.
Nothing came out,
And
but
it
there were
shouldn't
always
be,
those
it
whispers.
shouldn't be that he was a good guy,
On and
bad
off the
guy.
field.
There shouldn't be that he was a good guy, bad guy. Does he have the numbers? Is he a Hall of Famer? Simple as that. But they make this, the new saying in sports, the eye test. The eye
Right,
test.
right.
Well, look at his numbers. You're in the stats. You're the analytic
stats.
guys. Look at his stats.
Well, again, you go back to it's the baseball writers that vote for people to get in here. Bonds was very unpopular with baseball
Right,
writers.
right. And that,
you know
that's
what
the
though?
thing.
But
If you knew
those
it came
guys
down-
aren't the greatest either. Those reporters are a pain as well. And one of the guys, again, we'll mention his name, he said that he was not going to vote for Nolan Ryan because a bunch of writers didn't vote for Don Sutton.
Yeah,
What the hell's that got to do with
nothing
anything?
to do with the other.
Has
But
nothing to
you're
do
right,
with it.
and that's the thing. You knew if it came down to guys having to vote for Barnes, this is payback. They don't think he was the nicest. Now they can kind of hold this over his head, but he's going to get in. I mean,
I don't know, Luther.
I'm
I
telling
don't
you, all
know.
those guys will get in. It's
I don't
gonna
know
take
for
some
sure. I
time.
want to say he
I don't
had
think
50
so.
some votes, 50% votes last year, and for him to drop down after Piazza gets in and Bagwell, I mean, unless he just has an incredible jump, I don't see it, and I think it's a crime.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
I know. Again, I'm not for the PEDs. I'm against that stuff. First of all, for their health. I hated like hell seeing Lyle Alzado go on TV and say, "Hey, I ate right. I didn't drink. I exercised. The reason why I have brain cancer is because of the steroids I took." So I hate
Athletes
to
are a
see
piece of meat. They're there for our entertainment. I don't care
Well, but
less
I
about
still feel
them.
bad. I feel bad for anybody unless I don't like them. But again, I don't condone it by no means. But a lot of them were doing it, and a lot of them didn't get caught.
Right, and we don't know who
You don't
did
know
it.
who did. You don't
so
know who
how can
didn't.
you hold it because
So
a
you-
couple guys' name?
Exactly.
It all depends. If you were getting it from somebody else and their name wasn't on that list, you were okay.
Yeah. So who are we to judge? I mean, everybody's very judgmental, as I said, but the guys who are the harshest on those guys, they're clean, they're perfect. They never did anything wrong in their lives.
I
And
can
they
see
like
why
to judge
football.
people.
I can see why football is #1 sport in the world.
Why?
I mean, they embrace the controversy, where baseball thinks they're just so much better than everybody
That's the
else.
problem with baseball.
I always said the
elitist.
greatest, the only player in baseball I would have ever paid to see
Babe Ruth.
was McGuire.
Okay.
He saved the game, and now the game's turned their back on McGuire, and I'll never go to another baseball.
When him and Sosa were
Yeah.
doing their thing,
After
I
the
remember
lockout,
my
right.
dad was in a hospital. There was nurses who didn't know if the baseball was stuffed or pumped or whatever. Said, those two guys, who hit the home run?
Saved the
And then they
game,
did the commercial, chicks dig the long
long
ball.
ball.
But as soon as they got caught, they kicked them to the side.
Right,
So in other words,
right.
as long as you're okay, you're all right with us. But as soon as you do something bad, they kick you to the curb. I don't like that.
I mean, he was the Bass brothers from the first
And-
time, him and Canseco.
Right, but
And
when
Canseco-
McGuire broke the record, okay, the first thing he did, he ran off the home plate and he hugged the Maris family and all that kind of stuff. And it was a touching moment.
Right,
I mean,
right.
whether he was on the stuff or, okay, terrific. But like Jim said, they turned their back on him. And I think baseball, like I said, they're perfect. Those people who vote are perfect. The commissioner's perfect. The people at the Hall of Fame are perfect. Everybody's perfect. They judge everybody. Hey, forgive. Okay, he didn't kill anybody. None of them killed anybody. If they had done something like that, okay. Pete Rose once said, if I would have done something really, really bad, I'd have had a better shot to get in.
Exactly.
He'd have hit more
Exactly.
doubles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Again, I'm
they-
not condoning any of that stuff. I'm just saying we don't know who did what. Pete Rose, you know what? Believe it or not, I'm okay with not letting him. He wanted to manage. If it was the bottom
he
of the
can't
ninth and
manage.
he steals
He-
somebody and gets thrown out, he's on the
Charlie
tape.
Hustle.
So I understand that. Okay, but as far as being in the Hall of Fame, they should put him in. And again, the steroid thing, I don't like it. I don't condone it. But you don't know who did it. You don't know who did do it, didn't do it. Those guys with the numbers, put them in.
Yeah.
You can get a half-hearted player, give him all the steroids in the world. He's not going to do what Clemens did, Bonds did, McGuire did.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, it's a
And
matter of
improve a
time.
little bit,
It's going to happen. I'm convinced that it's definitely going to happen. It's going to take some time. But I think Barnes has about 6 more years.
I guess. But again, I don't like the idea that he dropped down.
He's going down. So I don't know, man. Hey, like going back to football, MVP. Now, there's a couple guys I had in mind. Of course, everybody's talking Cam Newton. I mean, this season was just insane. 3,800 yards, 35 passing touchdowns. He had about another 8 rushing. We have some of his clips. Guys, I mean, do you think anybody is even in the running?
I thought 3 guys.
Okay.
I thought Cam, Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown were the guys who I really did.
Really?
I really did.
Wow.
But I said the past couple weeks I'd just go with Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Even though Mike's giving me a dirty look. I say Cam Newton by far.
Mike, what do you?
I think absolutely Cam Newton.
And ain't nobody
I
else
said
is
around
doing it.
the 10th, 11th game of the season, but he just really separated himself.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for Cam Newton as well. He's
Yeah,
worked hard.
he
He's
took a
big
lot
guy.
of heat. You know, the man can't even dance without getting letters saying it's, you know, their kids or you know, shouldn't be watching his dance. and
Yeah,
just all kinds of
he
things.
probably wrote the letters, but I go with Cam Newton too because I think Cam Newton is the closest thing to Terrell Pryor I've ever seen. So
Come
I go
on.
with Cam Newton.
He makes one catch on Sunday, and you try to bring him back up. I hope it works out for Pryor. I mean, that was a nice catch, but then he had a drop on the very next pass.
Until this past week, I might have thought Carson Palmer might have had a
You don't think
chance,
Roethlisberger at all?
but no.
No.
Really?
I don't think Roethlisberger.
No,
at all.
he's we're out 8 picks on the road. I mean,
I'm not talking about the last couple weeks. I'm talking about up to a point. I said I had him in the running up to a point. Then the past 3-4 games, okay, I get it. But I thought he was incredibly important. I mean, he is incredibly important to the Steelers.
yeah. But the
He's having a
only,
good
only
season.
other one I had was Carson Palmer.
Okay.
I mean, we have some of his clips. Now, I thought he was done once he left Cincinnati. He went to the Raiders, and that tells you how bad that organization. How do you have Carson Palmer, who might get the MVP this year, and Randy Moss? They look like they're done with the Raiders. They go somewhere else and tear it up. Carson Palmer has just rejuvenated his career since hooking up with Bruce Arians. And, of course, Larry Fitzgerald. He's the only other guy that I think may have a chance, but it's going to be Cam Newton. 15-1.
Yeah, Cam Newton's
They
gonna
should have
run
gone
with
16-0. I still don't know how they lost to Atlanta.
Well, no, they should have won about 10-6, but they lost one game. But there was a lot of close games they should have lost.
How should they
The
have lost
Giant
that?
game they should have got beaten. The Giants should have beat them. Did you watch that game, or was you busy?
15
Stuffing the ballots for the
15-1
Hall of Fame
is
for baseball.
15-1. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you can't knock that. They did that without Kelvin Benjamin.
Can't wait
I
to
mean,
Arizona to get a chance to get to that.
Arizona may not get there, Smokers, Joe. They better hope they don't run into Seattle. Well, actually, they don't get to run into Seattle unless it's in an NFC Championship. So they caught a break. They caught a break, Smoker Joe. But those are the only two guys. Let's get the models back in here and weigh in. What do you guys think about the Steelers' chances this weekend against the Bengals? Are we looking at one and done, or you think we can get them?
I'm a diehard Stiller fan, so I definitely think they're going to the all the way,
All the way.
all the way, and I think
Number
they're going to be the
16,
champions.
It'll be like 2005 all over again if they in fact do that.
Yes, definitely Super Bowl, and definitely is going to win. Diehard Stiller fan.
All right. Sindel, what are your thoughts?
I was actually speaking to Jim the other night about this.
Okay.
And all I have to say is that when I find this algorithm, there's this crazy algorithm out there that eliminates teams as they go with crazy things like people who have beards and all kinds of, it's honestly crazy. But they have predicted the Super Bowl winners out of every single Super Bowl got one wrong.
Wow.
Okay, they predicted the Super Bowl winners this year to be the Steelers.
Wow.
I predict them to be the Steelers. Everybody was doubting us against this past game. I knew we were going to win. And thank you to the Bills also for allowing us to get back where we belong. I don't think that we should have lost the last game. I think the Steelers know that. I think that their hearts are way in that, and passion always plays better on the field.
Okay. Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
Sound like you should be coaching
I like
the passion.
that, yeah.
I like that. All right, but I definitely agree, man. And that Baltimore game, the morale was really down after that game. I'm still trying to figure out how they let
Another
Ryan Mallett.
hometown excuse.
What?
Another hometown excuse.
Listen, but every team has that. New England just lost to the Miami Dolphins.
New England.
And they
New
could have had
England's the
first place.
defending Super Bowl
I'm
champions.
saying, but what I'm saying
show a
is,
little respect.
What I'm saying, everybody could have those slip-ups. And the game before that, they lost to the Jets. So I don't know. And really, Steelers fans need to send a thank you to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Man, three interceptions in the fourth quarter. Man.
One in the end zone.
One in the end zone. All they needed was a field goal. Just tried to force it in. But, one thing I do want to talk about, also in that game, Darrelle Revis was getting torched by Sammy Watkins. I don't remember ever seeing Darrelle Revis get beat like that. Is this the end smoking gym?
Well, the last time they played, Sammy put something on Darrell.
Not like this. Not like this.
So I didn't see the game, but my daddy always told me that if somebody ain't got something good to say, they talking about Johnny Manziel. No, my dad always said that a great receiver will beat any cornerback one-on-one. He didn't say except Darrelle Revis, except Deion Sanders. Great receivers supposed to beat defensive backs
He knows
one-on-one.
where he's going.
And Sammy Watkins is a great receiver.
I haven't seen anybody
Yeah.
beat. I haven't seen.
And my
anybody
daddy
beat
never
Richard Sherman this
told me
year.
nothing wrong.
I haven't seen anybody beat Richard Sherman.
My
this
daddy
year.
wasn't a great player on the field, but off the field, he was legendary.
Hey, let's get into this Bengals game. Again, a number to call, 412-231-2288. Let's run some of the clips from the last game. These two teams don't like each other. Burfict is the most dirty. He's the dirtiest player. in
He's
the
an
league.
all-pro
He's
player.
a dirty player. Before the game, walking over to the 50, I was so glad.
James
he kept
Harrison
getting
ain't
hurt.
dirty.
Yeah.
You Steeler fans.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, he's the one who went over there, and he got hurt the whole game.
Because
and it's
Vince
gonna be the
Williams
same
said he
thing.
was going to kill him if he ever
He
come to
didn't say
South
those
Beach.
words. He did not say
He
those
said
words.
it on
Smokey.
Twitter. You ain't on Twitter.
You're not on Twitter. We do know that. But listen, Burfict, the way he celebrated after he put out Le'Veon Bell, that started off. I mean, that was, next to a horse collar, that's the worst thing you can do. You guys going out of bounds and you bent them backwards. That's they definitely need to put that
Did
in.
I
They
see
got the
George
horse
Cribs get toasted twice by James Harrison and they celebrate? Hey,
Different thing.
Well,
Hey,
let
Smoking Jim.
me just say this one thing before we go to the caller. My man Greg Lloyd hit L2 for the Jets and counted him out 1, 2, 3 WWF. But you Steeler fans love that. Steelers are the dirtiest team in the league, but I love y'all.
Okay, yeah. It's not good to be on his friends list. Hey, let's jump to the phone last. Caller, say your name, we're calling from.
Man, it's Kelly Russell.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Kel?
Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
How y'all doing? As usual, smoking got me cracking up over here.
What's happening, Kel?
Oh, man. Was that Claudio or was that Mike?
That's Claudio.
All right.
You
let's
can't
talk
tell the
about-
white
hey,
guys apart on the voice.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, we're all friends. The color of the person should not matter.
There you go.
You gonna get Kelly Gord again.
All right, Kelly.
Jim,
But,
although
real
I gotta
quick,
say
Claudio.
see, Jim says all white guys sound alike. So,
I thought your name was Roscoe.
hey, Kelly, bring us back, man.
I got you. Let's talk about baseball. And I'll put it like this. As usual, Claudio, I'm in agreement with you in a lot of things. And I find this whole steroids in baseball thing to be the biggest sham ever.
Right.
And when I call it a sham, and as y'all somewhat alluded to, after baseball went not strike, but whatever it was way back when, I can't
Lockout.
maybe it was strike, I can't remember.
Lockout.
Lockout, thank you. When baseball went on the lockout, the sport basically died.
Mm-hmm.
And McGuire and Sosa's home run chase single-handedly brought fans back into the game.
Right.
And y'all alluded to the whole chicks dig the long ball and people checking box scores just looking for home runs.
Right.
Up until I remember somebody getting to the whole Andro debate, I remember all these high and mighty sports writers putting out articles talking about, are these home runs legitimate or does baseball have a steroids problem? Now,
Right.
granted, that's back in the 90s, and I can barely remember what I did yesterday. But off the top of my head, I don't remember this back in the late 90s with these high and falutin sports writers trying to play all high and mighty about the game. And now you want to punish the people who helped bring fans back to the game. So if that's what y'all want to do, great.
Right.
If you can't even elect a single person to be a solo ballot or 100% into the Hall of Fame, y'all do that. Because that's why I think at times your sport is so backwards at times. As it goes on with the point, there's no way you can't tell me Ken Griffey Jr. should have all the ballots to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And Claudio, we talked about this. As far as I'm concerned, Vaughn, Clemens, Pete Rose, they all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And if you're going to keep playing the morals clause, let me put this out there too. I personally feel that Ty Cobb should be in the Hall of Fame. But if y'all want to play high and mighty, Ty Cobb.
Ty
There's no
Cobb.
way you can tell me that Ty Cobb doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
I thought he was in.
Yes.
Once again, if you want to play all high and mighty with all these writers, why back in the 50s, when you used to see these baseball players stepping out with their wives, but it was like y'all never said nothing, but some of these people still ended up in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, don't try to play all high and mighty on one thing and act like other things just go to the side.
Kelly, I said that.
But I'll say this.
If you heard that, I agree with you as always, 1,000%. I mean, these guys, these writers, and these baseball people, again, they've never done anything wrong.
Right.
They were perfect, and they expect these baseball players to be perfect. And I'll say this, you talk about the running around and whatever, I'd be surprised if a lot of those reporters who criticize those players if they were put in the same opportunity, they were given the same opportunity those players were given as far as different temptations, if they wouldn't have collapsed.
You know
to
what,
those
Claudia? We're
temptations.
talking about baseball.
Exactly.
We're not talking a hall of ministers or a hall of pastors. These are
Exactly.
baseball players. If they were the best on the field, they need to be in the Hall of Fame. It's as simple as that.
But you know, they try
Don't
to make
put this morality
baseball
cause in
as just America's game and apple pie and Chevrolet. Oh man, I don't want to hear that.
How many?
I don't wanna hear
Yeah,
that.
you know, that's why I like the NFL. It doesn't matter, you know, what LT's in the Hall of Fame. And there was no, hey, he played half his games on coke. You know, but he's in the Hall of Fame, no questions asked. He was a great player.
deserves it.
Put him in.
Hey, you're 100% right, Kelly. And I think a baseball player just signed a $300 million contract. I'm getting on steroids tomorrow.
Oh, brother. In regards to the playoff game,
Yeah.
now y'all know I've always talked about when you lose, you need to have respect and dignity. Although at times when you win, I also feel you need to have respect and dignity. And there's part of me, because of the way that some of the Steelers acted when they beat the Bengals in Cincinnati, there's part of me that wants them to lose, because I look at it this way. You know, and Luther, you'll know this from the sports group, that people always call the Baltimore Ravens the little brother to the Steelers.
Right.
Well, last I remember, little brother punched big brother in the mouth last year and went on to win the playoff game.
Right.
Now, it's only fitting that the can't win a playoff game Bengals a year later have to play the Steelers. And since they haven't won a playoff game since like the 1990s, in a way it would be fitting that Marvin Lewis, yes, Jim, I said Marvin Lewis, the man, I don't know
Your
what he did to
favorite
you back
coach.
in the day, just say Marvin Lewis will win a playoff game against the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. There's part of me that wants to say that, but then there's a part of me that says, nah, I can't have that. But I
Well, listen
like
to the
this. I
part
don't
that
think-
says
I
it
think
can't
the Steelers
happen,
need to
Kelly.
Take this game serious, extremely serious.
All right. So, prediction. What's going to happen, Kel? I know you gave us. You gave us the political answer. Where are you going
No, I
with
really
this?
want to say the Steelers lose, but the fact of the matter is I see them winning this game. I really see them winning this game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I'm hoping Ben learns to quit forcing stuff.
8 picks on the
Use
road.
outlets, throw a lot to Heath Miller. I understand you love Antonio Brown. I get it. Oh, I'll give him credit now. He earned my respect. I can now call him the best receiver in football. He earned my respect this year.
About time.
Just
After all
now,
that
Kelly.
shenanigans.
time.
Man, this guy's put up back-to-back numbers that's never been done before. I mean, man.
That's true. That's why I say he
Kel-
earned my respect.
Right.
I don't agree with the shenanigans, but he earned my respect.
You don't like the front flip in the end zone or jumping on the
I don't like the
goalpost?
front foot. Hey, personally, I feel that lady should have pressed assault charges, but that's just me. Once again,
Kelly, would you have been upset, or would you be upset if Antonio Brown does the Kelly dance that I seen you doing at Luther's party?
Hey, he breaks out doing a wobble. It's all good.
He
Oh,
could
you
not
did
do
not
it
miss
as,
that dance.
he could not do it as good as you. I can tell you that. That's for sure.
Hey, Kel, man. How about the other games? Because we have a couple more callers we have to get to.
I'll make this quick. I know Stats said he liked the Vikings to beat Seattle. I really like Seattle. I know they had a hiccup a couple of weeks ago, but I like the Seahawks, and I'm hoping they get a chance to play the Carolina Panthers somewhere down the line. So
I like Russell
I'll go
Wilson's
Carolina in the
girlfriend.
end. I'm sorry, what? My girl?
I like Russell Wilson's girlfriend. That's why they ought to win.
Oh, you like Russell Wilson's girl? Oh, Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
You better watch
AFC,
out for Future. What do they say? People doing too much? They are doing too much. And I just got a bad feeling 2016 Future's going to do something real crazy. That's just me, though. I mean, wow.
Hey, like Suge Knight said about Puffy, if you don't want people all up in the videos, all doing this, all in the camera.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, part of me would love to see a rematch of the Seahawks and the Patriots. Part of me would really like to see that.
The rematch.
But you're giving me a chance to make my prediction here. And outside of, I've liked Seattle for a while, despite that hiccup, I can't really pick the AFC. But let's get real. I wouldn't shock me if Tom Brady and the Patriots made it back.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Kel, man. Thanks
Thanks,
for the
I know
call,
I
man.
gotta go, but Mike, if Mike could get a comment just to talk about, I know it's not a lot of people don't find it to be a big deal, but Sidney Crosby not making the All-Star game and when he'll get his play back up to par.
All right, Kel. Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks,
Kel.
Kelly.
All right, fellas, always a pleasure.
All right.
See you, man.
What do you think, Mike?
I think it was a big surprise that Crosby didn't make the All-Star game, not because of his play this year, but because usually people give it on their reputation. It's a bigger surprise to me that Chris Letang did make the All-Star game than that Crosby didn't, because neither of them are playing very well this year. But Jenny Malkin is. He
Yeah.
made the All-Star team.
He did make it?
Yeah, he did.
Man, see in hockey, you could have a guy like Sidney not make it, and Kobe Bryant, their team has won 4 games.
Black
He
man
has-
talking
He
hockey.
has more votes than anybody, which I don't understand. Sidney Crosby is one of the greatest hockey players I've ever seen. I thought, he was like be grandfathered in just because, but I
Right.
guess it doesn't happen. Yeah. Hey, let's jump to the phone lines. Call, say your name, where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Carl from Washington, D.C.
Hey, what's up, Carl?
Hey, Carl.
What's going on, guys?
All right, all right.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Happy New Year. You said Washington.
Yes, sir.
Kirk Cousins.
Washington,
He's taking over
D.C.
the
Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, not state.
All right, D.C. So Kirk Cousins, he's the man up there, right?
You like that? You like that?
That was good. That was good.
Well, what's the feeling up there? Do they think they're going to beat Green Bay or?
Yes, yes. Tony, sports talk radio stations here think that the Washington's got a good chance against Green Bay. Beyond Green Bay is iffy, but definitely Green Bay, there's a lot of feeling that they've got a chance. They got a good chance. They're going to win.
Hey, Carl, you guys can definitely beat Discount Double Choke.
Oh, see. No,
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Okay, I'm a Lions fan. I'm a Lions fan.
I'm sorry.
Might
Sorry
have
to
been a
hear
rough year
Oh
for you.
man, you went from worst to the worst ever. I mean,
that.
Lions.
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, no, tell me this. As far as Washington, Kirk Cousins, we know he's locked down the city. You guys are about to make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. I think it's going to be a big mistake. He had a great year,
He earned it.
but I think they've had they had an easy schedule. If you look at their schedule, first of all, the division was garbage. That's
right.
Dallas was horrible. New York was horrible. Philly was horrible. And now they're about to pay
Only
this
thing
guy.
that's garbage
This
is
gonna set them back.
RG3. That's the only garbage.
Listen,
in
I don't think they have a
Washington.
quarterback on their whole team is what I'm saying. I
Kirk
think
Cousins
they
was
still-
4-time captain of Michigan State.
That's
He's a
Michigan
natural-born
State.
leader.
But if
He's
they
a
give him a
natural-born
big-time
They're
leader.
going to give him a big-time contract.
Go look at
and I
Ryan
think it's gonna-
Tannehill,
Exactly.
Scott Mitchell, Rob Johnson.
And that's
If a guy has a stretch, okay, then they go overboard. They say we got to lock him in. I'm not saying there's a plethora. That means a lot.
Break it down for him, please.
Plethora of great quarterbacks out there. So they figured let's give this guy a ton of
I
money.
like my cousin.
But I wouldn't go crazy for him. I'll tell you that.
All right.
I wouldn't give him a ton of money.
All right, looks like we lost that caller.
That was probably Kirk Cousins that was calling.
That was his cousin.
That was his cousin.
Hey, but yeah, let's get down to this. We do have some clips from the last Cincy Pittsburgh game. Can we run those real quick? What are we looking for to happen this year? This game. Well, we know it started off with that terrible interception by Dalton, and then you hit the guy with your right hand. Not the smartest play.
There's no good team in the history of the National Football League that you can beat at home 2 times in the same season. That's one reason why
Where's that
Cincinnati
at? Where's
wins.
that at in the books? That's one of your Smoking Jim's book of knowledge.
Isms.
No, here is
That's in the Gateway locker
Blake
room.
is a problem though. Why Blake continues to get in there? Every game you see him getting beat, getting burned. Now Willie Gay is playing. He's the only cornerback in the league that didn't get beat for a touchdown.
Do you
That's
trust
a fact.
McCarron?
The only, huh?
Do you trust
I don't
McCarron?
trust McCarron.
I don't either.
But you know what? I love that dance that that Willie Gay did. That was the best 15-yard penalty I ever saw. I think he danced with every member on the
But
defensive
Joey
team
Porter,
and
right?
Joey Porter.
But you get mad at Burfict for celebrating.
An injury,
Steeler-
yeah,
you
that was a
Steeler
touchdown.
fans,
Smoking
you
Jim was
Steeler
the
fans.
difference. Anyway, McCarron did do some things against the Steelers last game. And remember, they didn't have Tyler Eifert. He was injured that game. They knocked him out. And hopefully D'Angelo Williams is going to be able to play this game. They said he came out of the boot today. He was walking around.
He's
so
not
there's a
playing.
chance.
The Steelers are going with the running back that sounds like something I put on my breakfast
Fitzgerald
sandwich.
too far. So you're saying they're going to lose, Smoking Jim?
Listen, last year, the Steelers lost Le'Veon Bell and had nobody to back up.
Because he wasn't there.
This year, when Le'Veon Bell went down, they promoted Williams. They should have went after a veteran running back because running backs get hurt. Now you got two bums from the practice squad that's been cut from other teams' practice squads, and they cannot pick. Not only can they not catch a pass, they can't pass protect. Ben is going to get killed back there in the pocket when you're counting on Tufan or whatever.
That's
his
going to
name
be a
is.
big loss.
Fitzgerald's going to
Williams.
get it done.
Williams is a heck of a blocker. That's going to be.
Well, we'll see. There's still a small chance that he might play.
With one foot, with one leg.
There's still a chance. He's out of the boot, Mike. He's out of the boot.
Rocky
We'll see.
Blair.
He's
Rocky
out-
Blair is
out-
back.
Now's the time you wish the game was on Sunday and not Saturday.
I can't wait to get it over with.
To get it over with. All right. All right. Let's get the ladies back in here. Bring some. I know we've been over here quite a bit. Number to call 412-231-2288. We only got a few more minutes. Thoughts on the game, real quick. Do you think Williams is going to play? He hurt his foot. What are your thoughts, Sandel?
I mean, I'm really not sure. I think that he does have the strength to play through an injury. You know, we've seen him being injured before and play. Truly, I'm really not sure. I kind of hope that we can get to see them play, but honestly, I'm just not sure. We're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully he does play. I want everybody to be, on their A game then, because I usually always get mad at Ben, like every other play.
Especially on those away games.
Every other play. So hopefully everybody is on their A game because we are really rooting. I do have some money down, not a lot, but I do have some money down. So I'm hoping that they make me a little bit richer.
Okay. Now, while we have you on there, we're changing the subject a little bit. Modeling. We do have some young females that watch the show. Can you tell the viewing audience a little bit about your modeling career and how you got into it?
Oh,
And
yes.
what's it like, both of you?
Well, I started out modeling when I was 11 years old at the good old store Fashion Bug.
Oh, wow.
And someone saw me because I was like 11 years old, 5'7".
Wow.
And someone saw me and they're like, you know what, we need you, And then I was with them until I turned about 18. And then I ended up getting signed to a different agency here in Pittsburgh. Okay. And then ever since then, I've just been doing my thing. I did move to California 2 years ago and, was doing some modeling out there. And then, I had my baby and everything. But modeling, I don't know. Like, if you have the height, listen, like, seriously.
Now, when you say height, what size
The
are you
height
talking
for
about?
women, I'm 5'8" and up,
Okay.
If you have the height and this is something that you want to do, like, seriously contact me because honestly, I'm really want to help people, women in Pittsburgh, young ladies in Pittsburgh, get out there. And I mean, I'm no Tyra Banks or anything, but
Yes, you are.
I'm Mariah
next top
Torres.
model, okay.
And
Is that the next show you're going to do? Pittsburgh's next top model?
that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. So, yeah, like I said, if you need any help, just always contact me. I'm on Facebook, Mariah Torres. I would love to bring some women on the show, who are inspiring models and, hook them up with a photo shoot, makeup artists and all the other stuff, just so they can get the feel, once they start getting comfortable, start getting them into different shows. And I was a runway extraordinaire for a few shows out here in Pittsburgh where I taught the women how to walk and everything. So I can definitely help with that. Now, that's one thing I'm an expert at is walking.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you know who's the best photographer in Pittsburgh? Magic Mike, right?
Uh-oh, Magic Mike.
Good Mike. Yeah.
I thought Magic Mike was the pro dancer.
That was
That's
good.
a good one. Now, real quick before we get to Sindel, difference between Los Angeles and Pittsburgh modeling? I mean, it's two complete.
Definitely a complete. Okay, I would say in Los Angeles, competition definitely, but you have your runway models, you have your very thin models, then you have your your bigger models. There's a place in California for everybody. It's so big that there's a place for everybody.
Wow.
Now here in Pittsburgh, there is kind of competition as far as different models is very narrow. You have your one look model. It's either fashion model or, I'm sorry to have to say this, or booty model. I don't know.
What's a booty model?
A booty model is your video vixen model.
okay. All right.
I'm sorry I have to say that, but it is what it is. But it's either or, and there's not there's not really a big category for your big girls. It's either your fashion big girl, or skinny big girl. You're all in that one thing. So they embrace everybody here in Pittsburgh, and you just get your categories. It's like a Mean Girls squad.
Wow. All right. Let's get Sindel before the time runs out. Now, what title is it that you won for Allegheny County?
There's actually two. So first off, in 2016, I was actually Miss Pittsburgh American Beauty, which is an extreme honor. And then I actually just had to relinquish my title because I'm going to be competing in the Miss Pennsylvania America contest, and I'm currently Miss Allegheny County American for America for 2016, which is a huge honor.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity.
Hopefully you get to Miss Universe and Steve Harvey, you'll get your name right.
Well, it's actually a completely separate pageant system. But honestly, that's my biggest thing. A lot of people mispronounce my name. Sindel is my real name, given to me by birth. A lot of people don't think that. But it's kind of cool. It's a blessing and a curse. I can't hide from it. I can't blame anything else on any other Sindel. But I actually am completely opposite with Mariah on her stance. So I'm a commercial model by choice.
Okay.
And
now what's that?
Commercial is more like beauty industry, like rings, the people that you would see in Hollister, the people that you see in watches. And I find that for me, Pittsburgh was very hard to break into. I've been doing this since I was 3 years old. And I've done everything from Gerber to Fashion Bug to what she said. And my biggest thing was being able to be transformed. Your idea is to be a palette for somebody. So anybody that can transform can be a good model. It's very, very difficult, like she said, for anybody who is a little bit shorter to go into fashion strictly.
Okay.
It's especially harder for someone who is right on the borderline of fashion size. So Pittsburgh fashion size is way different from LA fashion size. Mm-hmm. What I love about my pageant is they actually promote a platform that women have to show that they are of a healthy body mass index. So that's also great. So you don't have to be strictly skinny for that.
All right. Well, thank you all both for coming on. We're out of time. Smoking Jim is a Cincinnati Bengals fan, even though he hates Marvin Lewis. You think they're going to win?
I'm New England fan with Mandy.
Okay. All right. For Claudio, Mike, Smoking Jim, I'm Luther Dupree. Check us out on our website, scsportsworld.com, and we'll check you out next time. Peace.